Okay? To continue our discussion, the next criterion is Maximin criterion. So you use this decision criterion if you want to find the alternative that maximizes the minimum payoff or consequence for each alternative. Kumbaga, the best of the worst. Ito yung pessimistic approach. Ayan. So to continue with the problem, although Avrat Singh is the principal owner of Morgan Oil, his sister Allison is credited with making the company a financial success. As Vice President of Finance, Allison attributes her success to her pessimistic attitude about businesses and the oil industry. So from the information given, what decision criterion should Allison use? What alternative will she choose? Okay? Ano about this? From the same information pa rin. So, in the kanina, we find the maximum. Ngayon naman, we will find the minimum in a row. Ayan. So, syempre, dahil minimum, kumaga, whatever is that gives the best return, ito in a maximin, whatever gives the best return under adverse or unfavorable conditions. So, pinakamababang loss. Kumbaga, kanina, pinakamataas ang profit, pinakamalaking kita, ito naman, pinakamababang loss. Okay? Dahil pessimistic approach nga ito. So here, Allison will, given her pessimistic nature, will choose Texan kasi yun ang pinaka maliit ang ang baga lugi under unfavorable market. Okay, so that's Maximin. Next is criterion of realism. Ito naman, weighted average approach. So, ito yung realistic nga. So, makes use of coefficient of realism. So, alpha. So, if the decision maker is an optimist, then the alpha is 1. So, pag pessimist naman, ang alpha takes the value of 0. So what is the weighted average? So the weighted average is equal to the alpha times maximum in the row, maximum value in the row, plus 1 minus alpha times the minimum in the row. Okay? So using the same problem, continuation of the same problem. So the company subscribed to the lubricant, an oil newsletter. So in the last issue, the letter described how the demand for oil products would be extremely high. So medyo favorable. There's a high demand for oil products. So the American consumer will continue to use oil products even if the price of these products doubles. One of the articles in the lubricant states that the chances of a favorable market for oil products was 70%, while the chance of an unfavorable market was only 30%. Avrat would like to use these probabilities in determining the best decision. Okay, so this time we're given probabilities. 70% na favorable ang yung market at 30% na unfavorable yung market. Okay? What decision model should be used? What is the optimal decision? Okay? And Avrat believes that the 300,000 figure for the sub 100 with the favorable market is too high. How much lower would this figure have to be for Avrat to change his decision made in part B? Okay? First, what decision model should be used? So how do you build the payoff table for this one? Yeah, so like in the previous criterion, we build a third column, fourth column, we add an additional column, the criterion of realism. So how do you build the how do you solve for the reward or payoff for each? So these are your choices. So we have to compute for the payoff or reward for each choice. So we are given a 70% chance that the favorable it will be a favorable market. So ang reward for the favorable market is 300,000 and it has a 70% chance of occurring. Okay? So pag unfavorable naman, negative 200,000, tapos ang alpha niya, syempre difference lang ng 1 minus 0.7 or 0.3. Okay, so 30% chance na unfavorable. So you do the math, you get 150,000 for sub 100. For Euler, 145,000, and for Texan, 47,100. So kung kanina you only consider favorable or positive, maganda ang yung sumunod naman, okay, you only consider, you base your decision based on the negative, pessimistic approach, yung magkano malulugi sa'yo. Okay, syempre you want to minimize your loss or lugi. So kanina yung first approach is you try to maximize your profit. Then the second approach, you want to minimize your loss if it's unfavorable. Ito naman, combination, weighted average of the favorable and the unfavorable market. Okay? So obviously the optimal choice is in sub 100. It still gives a highest return. Pero ang kaibahan nga nito, so you do not only consider the positive, the favorable, you also consider the unfavorable condition. Okay? So 145,000 ang return pag Euler J ang pinili. Maliit lang ang difference ng dalawa, sub 100 against Euler J. So for this, for letter A, what decision model should be used? Okay, so this is for criterion of realism. And what is the optimal decision? So this is the optimal choice, sub 100 pa rin. Then next question is, Avrat believes that the 300,000 figure for the sub 100 with a favorable market is too high. How much lower would this figure have to be for Avrat to change his decision made in part B? So in part B, sinasabi natin that Avrat should choose sub 100. Pero sabi niya, yung 300,000 masyadong optimistic. Okay? So for Avrat to change his sub 100, from sub 100, pipili niya yung Euler J, gaano kababa to dapat, 300,000. Okay, so equate natin to, 145,000. Either mamili lang siya dito, sub 100 or Euler J. Yan. Again, simple lang ito. So ito pa rin yan. The same formula, simple algebraic manipulation lang. Okay, so we get the value of return of 292,000 or almost 293,000, 293K $1,000. So based from here, pag bumaba na ng less than 292 or 293K ang favorable market reward, Avrat may change his mind from sub 100 to Euler J, pipili niya. So ito ang value for Avra to change his mind from choosing sub 100 to Euler. Okay, so that's the meaning of this number.